First of all, congratulations. Yeah, on the film. It
Thank
was just an amazing film. Michelle, you wrote it with Caroline, the script.
Yes, Carolyn
Yes.
Carpenter. Yeah.
How was the collaboration? And JK, what do you thought from the script when you read it for the first time?
Easy collaboration. She's one of my best friends for decades. And she's been a writer for her entire life. And we just had the most fun. We actually wrote during COVID. So it was all, we'd hook up our headphones and we'd call each other, and start typing away. It took 6 weeks. It was a pretty quick script. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I hand it to him and he reads it and tells me what he thinks.
Okay.
Well, and as with anything, I read, especially now that I'm blessed to be in a position to pick and choose, and only do what I want to. There are basically two things. I read a script, and first of all, is it good? Is it just good writing? And second of all, even if it is, it's not always something that I connect with, So in this case, those boxes were both easily checked, and then knowing that this was going to be the collaboration that the trusted communicative collaboration that we're going to have going forward. It was a real treat to be able to do together.
I'll be your new daddy.
There's a crazy man. We have to run. Let's go.
So the first time you guys worked together a few years ago, you did I'm Not Here together. It was also like I think it's classified as like a drama, but it's very dark as well.
Yeah.
What do you think, Michelle, makes JK a perfect actor for that kind of roles? And what is it about her directional style that makes her perfect for a type of movie like this?
Well, I wrote I'm Not Here with another writing partner I have, Tony Cummings, who's also a friend. And we wanted to, it's not so much it's dark. To me, it was very interesting to explore someone's, it's a story about redemption, that movie. And I wanted to write something, he's such a great actor, and we're dealing with quantum mechanics in that movie, quantum physics. And so he doesn't actually say a word. And there's not another actor I can think of that could possibly pull off, the lead part in a film without saying a word. And I just thought the exploration of many things, including redemption and family and pain and trauma and all that, and working with him, and just seeing him, express without words was an exciting adventure. Yeah.
Okay.
And this one was easier because I got actual words to say.
Yeah. Well, not so much at the beginning, a little bit, but then
not a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Survival. Continuing longer than another person or thing.
You got to take risks.
What's the first scene to shoot? Because there's a lot of going on. There's a lot of people being killed in the first 5 minutes. So I was wondering how, as a director and an actor, you set up scenes like that.
Yeah, that's Pete Villani is our DP, and Brian Swanson did the Steadicam work. Fantastic to work with. We collaborate, work it up. With the gas station was perfect. It's exactly how I imagined it when we were writing. So I had already visualized it while writing. So that was pretty easy to set up. But what are your thoughts on?
Well, then she had also done part of the prep, was doing the storyboards with J. Todd Anderson, who's a brilliant storyboard artist. So there was lots of preparatory work, and then as usual, the need to make a little adjustments on the day from the director's perspective. And then, fortunately, speaking of that opening sequence, fortunately, I'm a super expert motorcycle.
Wasn't him?
I'm not. It was me. Parts of it were me.
You rode up like on a bicycle.
Anything you see that's under 20 miles an hour, that's me on a motorcycle. Yeah.
Well, it does look very cool. You guys pulled it off perfectly, because it looks very, it is.
The key is to stay in the game. Survival of the fittest. You're either predator or you're prey.
My wife.
Where is she now?
And like a lot of the film takes place in the woods, which is like maybe like an extra character in this film. What are the advantages and disadvantages as a director and actor to have such a remote location?
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question about it being its own character, because we did kind of look at it that way. And in fact, the working title for the film was called The Woods, and because Carolyn and I also had this idea that taking these two individuals, because we wrote it during COVID when everyone was in lockdown and all, just there's a sense of isolation, right? And a sense of anxiety and a sense of, what's happening, in the world, in my life, So one of the reasons we set it in the woods, besides it being a typical sort of thriller, is that it is to isolate these individuals, right? It's a similar sense of what we were feeling when we were going through COVID. So the woods does become a character. You don't actually see Miranda and Wade together very often in the movie, a couple of times. So to connect these two individuals without seeing them together, the woods became that character. So that's a very astute, and it was beautiful, and it was scary, and it was cold, and it was it was a great place to film. But yeah, that's I like your.
Well, and as an actor, that's, one of the things when I made the transition from theater actor to film actor was so much of the work is done for you. I mean, you're in the woods, right? And it's real, and there are bears and moose came to visit the set.
Actually, literally.
And there are, I mean, it's, you're out there in nature dealing with it, whether you have this great support staff around you or not. So to be able to feel that environment, as opposed to something where you're doing, a lot of green screen or whatever it is, to actually be immersed in the environment is always an extra leg up for the cast.
Nice. Was there any moments during shooting that the nature really got a hold, that, for example, like animals were like just ruining the shots?
Yeah, we had they made us stop. We had a bear come on the set, and at night, it was a night shoot, and we had to stop filming and had security take care of the bear and shoo him away. No animals were harmed during the making of this movie. Yeah, we had a moose, we had a family of snakes so we had to actually go around this one section to shoot one of the sequences. We had a bone grave. We actually came across an actual bone graveyard of animals that it was really it was creepy.
Maybe Satanists having some fun out there in the woods.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
That'll be the next movie.
Oh, nice.
Need help?
And also, like, your daughter Olivia plays in this film as well. Like, your scenes between you and her aren't very father and daughter like, are they?
No, not a sweet, cuddly paternal relationship there.
So how was it like to play such like dark scenes with her? Because it must be nice, but also like very like, oh gosh, how are we going to do this?
Well, I mean, I was honestly surprised when we because most of the movie our characters aren't directly interacting. So when we got to that sequence, which was very late in the shooting schedule, I went in with some of that trepidation as the dad, and as the husband of the filmmaker, and as you're always nervous for your kids, whether they're playing sports or doing performing. But I was really able to just play those scenes and see her as one of the other characters that I was dealing with, and she did a remarkable job of doing the same thing. And it just, once they said action, it was just doing the work, and none of that got in the way at all.
Michelle, is this how you see your casting crew as well? Because like, there's a lot of family involved in this film, if I got it correctly. Like, I think that's like one of the people who does the score.
Our son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So like, how is it then for you to feel supported by the family, but also see them actually as like a team, like, of the film?
Yeah, that's so true. It's funny because the last question I asked our daughter Olivia the same thing. I said, is this going to be how is it to work with your dad given the script? And I asked the same thing. I asked, I was like, is this going to be, and they both were so professional. But yeah, working with, that's one of the reasons I write movies like this, and not like this thriller necessarily, but just in general, working with family and friends. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. And you do have a shorthand. And when I say family, it's also, then it becomes an extended family, right? Because your cast and your crew, and you just become such a tight family. And I love that. I love that sense of, film is the most collaborative art form there is. And it's the most, favorite thing to do. But yeah, working with the family is, it's a joy.
And collaborating with her and our son Joe, collaborating, after all of our work is done, after Randall has done all the work he needed to do to get it all shot, Olivia and I did our contributions. Then, she's spending the months in editing and post-production, working with this brilliant young composer who happens to be our son, who was still, a college student at NYU at the time, is now a graduate and embarking on his own career, independent of us, and hopefully we'll come back and continue to collaborate as a family again.
And as you know, thrillers only work, I think, with music. Thrillers all about the music. And there were some sequences, even after editing, I was like, oh God, because and then once he laid in some of his temp stuff that he had been working on, not temp, but things that he was working on that weren't completely finished, then I see it come together, and it was just like just the most exciting thing, because it's the music, right? It's the music in a thriller that I think if you shoot it right, it only comes together if the music is right. And I thought he did a fantastic job. I was so impressed with him.
We're organizing their search party.
Where is she?
Calm down, Jenny. She's not alone.
She's just a little girl.
Well, she's about to be a dead little girl.
Is there in the future a film where, JK, you will be directing Michelle? Will that be on the cards?
Absolutely not.
Never.
The beauty of what I do and what our daughter does, at least so far, she's beginning, is I'm a one-trick pony. I don't do grown-up jobs. I leave that to Michelle and her brother, and I'm glad they did such a fantastic job on this one.
I don't act anymore. I'm much more comfortable behind the camera.
Well, it works. So
thank you.
Yeah, that's the best thing. Well, thank you so much for this interview, and good luck with the film as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Survival. Continuing longer than another person or thing. You got to take risks. The key is to stay in the game. Survival of the fittest. You're either predator or you're prey. My wife.
Where is she now?
Where I left her.
Miranda! Miranda? She's been through so much. Talk to her.
I know things haven't been easy. We all just want you to be happy. I don't know. It's just... What do you want?
Eddie! Why is he following me?
Run! What's wrong with you?
911.
My name is Miranda Cooper. I'm lost in the middle of the woods. I need help. Hello?
Miranda.
Oh my God, he knows
Come
my
on.
name. He's coming.
I'll be your new daddy.
There's a crazy man. We have to run. Let's go!
Does this man look familiar to you?
Still no word on Miranda.
It's not safe to go into the woods.
He's armed and dangerous.
We're organizing their search party.
Where is she?
Calm down, Jenny. She's not alone.
She's just a little girl.
Well, she's about to be a dead little girl. I don't have to run faster than the man-eating tiger. I just have to run faster than you. Keep moving before anybody can figure out what you're doing. Need help? Thank you for the thrill of the chase and for the glorious day ahead.
He's right behind me!
Why are you doing this?
Does it matter?
You're lucky I didn't shoot you.
Like this?